This is the next project. It is a circa 1969 Yamaha Enduro. It's in parts. I didn't take it apart. Some of the parts are there, some parts down there, some parts right there, a whole bunch of parts right there. I've never worked on a motorcycle. I have no clue as to what I'm doing, but starting at the beginning, cleaning up the pieces, we'll get some soda blasting going, get that frame clean and get it ready for powder coating. I'm hoping I can successfully find a carburetor for this thing, so we'll see if that gets shipped in this week. If we're successful in getting a carburetor, then we'll have a working motorcycle just in a million pieces. And I don't have a manual. So let's see if we can put this thing back together over the winter. So this is the DT1 Enduro. As you can see, it's in parts. And I'm not certain how they all go back together, but I can generally tell that some parts go with other parts in a specific fashion. So I think we're going to start working on this component. So you can see I've already started to clean it up. So first things first, we're going to get this all clean. Some of these pieces are in really perfect condition already. Just a little bit of cleanup on them. Then we can start putting it back together again. And if we can get this sort of the primary part of the engine back together, we can start putting it back together and getting something running. And if we can get that matching carburetor, then I think we pretty well got all the pieces we need to at least get the engine running, which isn't too bad. I mean, we might need some new cables and stuff, but in general, it looks pretty good. It's in pretty good condition. I sandblasted these parts, put a couple of coats of primer on, 3 to 4 coats of base, and maybe a couple of coats of base, 3 to 4 coats of clear coat. Now I'm going to get to polishing the clear coat. Sanding, light sanding, 1500 grit, wet sanding, and some polish, professional polish, to see if I can take out what little bit of orange peel there is. There's a drip on that one. Take out some orange peel. And then we're going to try to put this thing back together again. That'll get us out of the cold anyways. At least we're in a heated garage, so we'll see how this goes. I have no idea how to put together a motorcycle. Never done one in my life. But we're going to give it a shot and see how it goes. There you go. Winter project. The next step in this process on this motorcycle, since we've already sandblasted, sanded, put on primer coats, put on base coats, put on clear coats, and now what we're going to do is we're going to try to get the orange peel out of that paint. So you can see how there's a little bit of an orange peel in there. We're going to try to do that. I've never done it before, so we're going to see how it goes. The process is really about wet sanding. So we're going to spray a little bit of water. We're going to wet sand with this ultra fine 1500 grit sandpaper. And that's going to leave a bit of a haze or a film over the surface. But what we're going to do is we're also going to be using a sanding block to try to get that done. But you can see this area is going to be a little bit tough to get that in there, but we're going to try to use a corner of this. And then we're going to come back with this. Basically, it's a clear coat polish. And this is the polisher that we'll try to use to put that on, but I think in a lot of cases we're going to be basically using hand polishing to get a lot of this stuff done. For bigger sections like this, we'll be able to use the drill and the polisher. But for these small sections, we're probably going to, like right in the back here where you can't get in very easily, we're probably going to have to do it by hand. We'll see how this works. Like I said, I've never done this before. I want to make sure that this polish is actually a polish that's going to work. And then what the idea behind this is that orange peel are little bumps in the surface of the clear coat. The sanding will bring it down to a level, and that will polish that level down to so it's super smooth and it should be glass-like. Now that's the theory. I'll let you see how this works. So I can see that that has removed the orange peel from the paint a great degree. And the downside is that it's also picked up some flaws that were underneath the clear coat in the next layer of clear coat. So now it's exposing some flaws right there. But the rest of it is, and of course you can still see some scratches in there. So it does not remove the scratches entirely. Now this could be because this piece is curved, but I'm going to try it on a sort of a flatter piece. So this sort of works really well on flat pieces, but I'm not certain about, doing it on curved pieces because you can't really do as much as you should when you're putting this on. You should sand it really well with really fine paper, successively finer papers. And, the stroke that you use should make sure that it's perfectly level and even, which you can't on a curved surface like this. But I think what I'll do is I'm going to try the underside of one of these fenders, which is a little flatter, to see if I can get a better result. The other issue is I didn't really know how far to go, but I was trying to get rid of all those scratches, and you can still see some of the scratches in there. But in general, it looks like once you had, a clear coat of, clear coat on the top, polished on the top of this with some carnauba wax or something. I mean, this thing would look like it was like glass top. But right now, I'm a little disappointed with it, but I think that's just because of my technique, and I'm not that professional doing this. I don't really care about this. It's just the inside of the light housing, but it's not going to be seen by anybody or anything like that. But I just thought I'd give it a try in here first. I'm confident enough to try it on something a little flatter, like the inside of one of these fenders. So let's see how that works out. So part of the issue I'm having here is you can probably see a little bit of white flecks in the clear coat, just little tiny ones. And those are caught inside the clear coat. So it's not in the black, it's not on the black base coat, but it's in the clear coat. It was probably like stuff that was blowing around, little bits of, dust from primer spray or something like that. So that's why you really have to have a dead non-airflow type of environment. So that's what we have here. Now, of course, you're supposed to be able to just buff these out, right? Like you say, oh, well, when you polish the clear coat, which we're doing right here, and you can see it, I mean, it feels really good, looks really good. All the orange peel's sort of buffing out, but it won't get those out because those are probably caught between clear coat paints or clear coats. So I think the key to getting this so that it wouldn't happen like this is to make sure that when you're spraying and when you're getting the thing sprayed, that it's not subject to any dust or stuff blowing around, despite what they say online, like, oh yeah, no, you can buff that out, at the clear coat stage. That's not really true. So you should really have a really clean environment. Now, it doesn't matter on this thing. This thing isn't like a collector bike or nothing. It's just I'm just trying to protect the paint. And I just wanted to see if I could actually, do a decent job spraying. But the problem was that where I was spraying it, it wasn't perfectly dead air still. And that was the issue. It still had some sort of venting going on that was pulling the air through the spray area, and that's what caused the issue. So that's what we see here. I'm probably not going to get that. I'm going to continue to buff it, but I'm probably not going to get it out. All in all, though, the buffing does make the clear coat really polish up nice. It gets rid of all that orange peel. Makes it look really, really good. It's actually really nice. So I'm just going to continue to buff this whole thing and get all that orange peel back down to something nice and smooth like right there. Then we'll start putting the bike together.